Okay, now we're going to begin factoring trinomials. So before we begin actually factoring, I'm going to come up with a trinomial by multiplying two different binomials. And the binomials I'm going to choose to multiply, put the pen down here, we're going to take x minus 3 and multiply by x plus 2. Again, in order to do this, we're going to use the FOIL technique. So x times x is x squared. That's first. Outer, take the x times the positive 2. We get positive 2x. Then we want to take inner, negative 3 times x, should be negative 3x. And then the last, negative 3 times positive 2, which would be negative 6. Combine like terms, I get x squared minus x minus 6. Now in the book, the directions would have told you to multiply these two binomials together. What we want to do is we want to learn how to factor. So when they ask you to factor a trinomial, they're going to give you the trinomial first. And I began by foiling this first so that I could get a trinomial that can be factored. Not all trinomials can be factored. This one can. And we're going to show how to work back to get this product of two binomials. Okay? So we know that it has to end up as a product of two different binomials. The first step in factoring is understanding that in order to get x squared, the first value here in my binomial and the first value here in this binomial have to multiply together to give me x squared. I know that the only way to do that is to take x times x. Now we need to find the product of two different values at the end that when we multiply the last terms we get negative 6, and at the same time the sum of those two terms is negative x. To do this we're going to use a technique called the x technique. Okay. In the x technique, the reason it's called the x technique, we're going to make a large x. Okay. The x splits our paper into 4 different regions. One region up here, one region here, one region right here, and one region down below. In this top region, we're always going to put the constant term. Okay? In this case, our constant term is negative 6. So before we actually put that value, I'm just going to write it in words. We're going to put the constant term there. Okay? In the bottom of this x, we're going to put the linear term. Okay? So we're going to take care of the constant term in the top, the linear term in the bottom, and we've already taken care of the quadratic term by taking x times x. So let's look at this number-wise. I'm going to make my x, and my constant term is the negative 6. So I'm going to put the negative 6 in the top of my x. The linear term is the negative x. Okay? I can put the whole value negative x, but actually I'm not going to get confused with variables, so I'm just going to put the coefficient in front of the negative x, which was negative 1. Okay? So now with these two coefficients, I know, and I said it here before, in order to get negative 6, I have to have a product of two values here. Okay? I'm going to run out of podcast time here, so we'll continue this on a separate podcast because it's about to cut me off. We'll have one more here.